Happy Friday, freelance mamas. So this is going to be my last live of the week. I just wanted to come on here and talk about the three things that are absolutely necessary. That the things that you need to have as a freelancer, and it's not like some fancy tech or a website or anything like that. So I'm just going to do a little mini training on that, so you can kind of start thinking about that, getting those things in place. So the number one, the first thing you're going to need is consistency. So a lot of times I see this, and I've even experienced it myself. It can be really hard to stay consistent, or sometimes you get discouraged or get derailed. And you know what? That's okay if that happens. The most important thing is like getting back on track. And this is going to be so critical when you are starting out as a freelancer and trying to find clients. You are going to need consistency with building those relationships with people. You are going to need consistency with reaching out to people. If you're doing cold pitching, you're going to need consistency with interacting in those social media groups. Again, building those relationships. So that is the number one thing I tell people. Like, pitching is a numbers game. The more you do it, the more likely you are to get a client. So if you're starting out and you're feeling a little discouraged, just keep going. Like, trust the process. I know that sounds like so cheesy, but it's true. Okay. I have found that when I was consistently sending out pitches every week, I was landing 1, 2, 3 clients a month. Okay. Just depending on how many pitches I was sending out. So number one is consistency. Number two, boundaries. Okay. And a lot of times when I say that, people are like, oh, I need boundaries with my clients. And absolutely 100% you need boundaries with your clients. But I'm going to tell you a little secret that the hardest person to have boundaries with, at least for me, is myself. So you have to have boundaries with yourself. Either that's, maybe that is boundaries, telling yourself, okay, this is my time to work, and it's going to be after the kids go to bed, and I need to set aside this time. Or maybe I just need to set aside an hour a day to do my work. Or my boundaries are, I want to be, like, for me, I'm a control freak. So it's really hard sometimes for me to let somebody else like step in and help with my kids. Even my husband, like, bless him, he's a saint. But sometimes it's really hard for me to do that. And I have to have that boundary with myself. Like, the kids are fine. They are not in danger. It is I have to hold that boundary. Like, this is my work time, and there is another trusted adult in the household that can take care of the kids if I need that. Okay. And usually it's like after my kids go to bed, my husband can jump in. Or sometimes even when he gets home, and like, we work that out amongst each other. And then I also had to learn to have strong boundaries around my family time. I was letting my business kind of start to take over and like creep in. And I was getting really burnt out, and I was like trying to take on so much and like conquer the world. And, that was not a good look for me. I became like a shell of a human. I was so burnt out. So I had to hold those boundaries with myself. Like, okay, like, this is what I said. I started this business to be more present, not to have it take over my life. So, that's my little soapbox on boundaries. The last thing I'm going to say is support. This is arguably the most important thing I have. And support, I mean a variety of different things, right? Like, you can have support, like whether that's family or friends supporting you, cheering you on in your journey. Of course, that is wonderful. You can have support with childcare. Okay, maybe you send your kiddos to a part-time preschool, or you have a trusted babysitter, or you can rely on family members sometimes. If you, like, I've done that before. I had like a big project and I wanted to knock it out, so I asked family for help. So like having that support is so important on that side of things. Now on the business side of things, it is so critical to have a support system in place. Somebody that is on this journey with you or has been on this journey before you, like come before you, to help guide you, because there are going to be things you have questions about. There are going to be experiences you, or like, something with a client and you're like, I have no idea how to handle this. That's when your support system comes in. You can ask them, rely on them, lean on them. I also have like a couple of business besties, and oh my gosh, I would not be anywhere near where I am today without them and their unwavering support and cheering me on and being like, we're in this together. Like, you can do this. And just giving me that pep talk when I need it. Same thing with coaches who have come before me. That is so, so important. So I cannot stress enough the support piece. So that's going to conclude my mini training, because the toddler's now running wild. You could probably hear him in the background. But we will talk more about support next week, and hopefully everybody has an awesome weekend.